When you imagine ancient humans, you probably picture them living inside dark caves forever. That image feels correct, but almost everything about it is completely wrong. Most ancient humans never lived inside caves for their everyday lives. So why does everyone believe caves were humanity's first homes? Because caves preserved history better than almost anywhere else on Earth. Rain destroyed outdoor camps, but caves protected ancient evidence for thousands of years. Archaeologists naturally discovered caves first because caves protected the past like giant safes. That accidentally created one of history's biggest misunderstandings about ancient human life. The truth is surprisingly simple. There were never enough caves for everyone. If caves weren't home, where did humans actually spend most of their lives? The biggest problem wasn't finding caves. It was finding caves near everything humans needed. Water came first. Without fresh water, no shelter could keep you alive. Animals didn't wait outside your cave. They constantly moved across enormous landscapes. If the food moved away, humans had only one choice: follow it. Staying inside one cave meant slowly starving while the world kept moving. Even worse, caves weren't empty when humans finally arrived. Bears, lions, hyenas, and other predators often claimed caves before humans ever could. Moving into someone else's home was one of the most dangerous decisions imaginable. Sometimes surviving meant avoiding caves instead of searching desperately for one. Humans needed something safer, closer to food, and completely under their own control. Instead of searching for caves, humans started creating shelter wherever they actually needed it. The first shelters were incredibly simple, but they solved almost every problem caves couldn't. A few branches, animal hides, and rope were enough to build a temporary home. Now shelter could travel wherever the people decided to travel next. For the first time, home wasn't a place. Home became something humans could create. Archaeologists have even discovered shelters built hundreds of thousands of years before farming. At sites like Terra Amata, wooden posts formed circular homes near ancient beaches. Those homes stood exactly where food, water, and resources were easiest to reach. Humans no longer adapted to nature. They slowly made nature adapt to them. That simple idea eventually transformed every village, town, and city on Earth. Building shelters solved one problem, but nature immediately created another. Heavy rain could soak every hide covering the shelter within just a few hours. Strong winds easily tore apart weak shelters built with loose branches and hides. Each storm taught humans a better way to build the next shelter. Every mistake slowly became knowledge passed from one generation to the next. Soon, humans stopped copying nature and started engineering their own solutions. Some groups even built homes using enormous mammoth bones instead of wooden poles. Those incredible structures still survive because bones last far longer than wood. Archaeologists uncovered entire circles of mammoth bones arranged like ancient house foundations. Humans were no longer searching for shelter, they were becoming skilled builders. Then something happened that completely changed where humans chose to live. Around 12,000 years ago, some humans stopped following food and started growing it. For the first time, people had a reason to stay in exactly the same place. Leaving now meant abandoning months of hard work growing crops. Temporary shelters were no longer enough for families planning to remain permanently. Humans started building stronger walls using wood, mud, and packed earth. The house itself became one of humanity's greatest inventions. It protected food, children, tools, and everything people worked so hard to create. A cave was borrowed from nature. A house belonged entirely to its builders. For the first time, humans truly controlled the place they called home. Once people stayed longer, one house slowly became several houses standing together. Neighbors appeared for the first time, creating the world's earliest permanent communities. Living together made hunting, farming, and defending everyone much easier. Instead of carrying everything, families finally began storing food for the future. Storage completely changed survival during harsh winters and long periods without successful hunts. A house became more than shelter, it became protection for tomorrow. People even began improving the same house instead of rebuilding it every season. Generation after generation, homes slowly became larger, stronger, and far more comfortable. That simple improvement eventually transformed villages into thriving towns and growing cities. Everything started with one family deciding to build instead of searching for another cave. A permanent home changed something even bigger than shelter. It changed the human family. Children finally grew up in the same place instead of constantly moving across the landscape. Parents could improve one home instead of rebuilding a new shelter every season. Instead of starting over, every generation built upon the previous one's work. That simple idea allowed human knowledge to grow faster than ever before. Soon, entire villages shared ideas, tools, and skills with one another every day. Living together helped humans solve problems much faster than isolated families ever could. Little by little, villages became centers of learning instead of simple places to sleep. A house protected much more than people. It protected human progress itself. Without permanent homes, civilization may never have grown beyond small wandering groups. But here's something surprising. Humans never completely stopped using caves. Instead, caves found a completely new purpose in human life. Some caves became safe places to store valuable food and important supplies. Others became sacred places where rituals and ceremonies were performed. Some caves even became galleries filled with incredible prehistoric artwork. Those paintings still help scientists understand how ancient humans saw the world. So caves were never abandoned. They simply stopped being everyday homes. Humans had finally become builders instead of simply finding places to hide. That decision changed every landscape humans would ever live in. From tiny wooden shelters came every house, skyscraper, and city on Earth today. Look around your home right now. You're living inside one of humanity's oldest inventions. Your walls exist because ancient humans decided nature wasn't enough anymore. Instead of accepting the world as it was, they began reshaping it themselves. That mindset eventually produced villages, kingdoms, and the civilizations we know today. Every apartment, neighborhood, and city began with one simple wooden shelter. Choosing to build instead of search forever changed the future of our species. The greatest inventions aren't always machines. Sometimes they're simply better ideas. A simple shelter quietly became the foundation of everything humans would build next. Without that decision, our world would look completely different today. And it all started when humans stopped asking, "Where can we live?" and started asking, "What can we build?" Scientists believe this was one of the biggest turning points in human history. Because once humans learned to build homes, they never truly depended on caves again. Instead, they carried one incredible advantage wherever they traveled: the ability to build. That skill allowed humans to survive deserts, forests, mountains, and frozen lands. No other human species ever spread across the planet quite like we did. Our homes became the starting point for every civilization that followed. So the next time you walk through your front door, remember where that story truly began. Not inside a city, not inside a castle, but inside one simple handmade shelter. That small decision changed the future of every human who would ever live. What ancient human invention should we explore next? Let me know below, and I'll see you in the next episode.